Hey guys, it's True Vaughn, and you're listening to When We See Each Other.
Hello, world. My name is Nikkiesha McLeod, and you're listening to When We See Each Other, presented by Stereoactive Media. When We See Each Other is a podcast that focuses on music and art by BIPOC, queer, trans, and non-binary artists, as well as artists I've met and known for some time. This episode, we're interviewing producer, songwriter, artist True Vaughn. First, we'll play their contemplative single Forever. Then, we'll jump right into the interview. Here we go.
If you call me by your last name, I'll make it last forever. If you call me by your last name, make sure we stay together. It's already been too long. You've already been too far away. And I don't wanna dip too far in my dreams. That's the only place you stay. If you call me by your last name, I'll make it last forever. If you call me by your last name, make sure we stay together. Cause I don't wanna dip too far in my dreams while you lie awake. And I don't wanna dip too far in my dreams. That's the only place you stay.
Hi, True Vaughn. Welcome to When We See Each Other. So happy to have you today and to finally meet you.
I
Oh
know.
my God.
I know. I feel like we've communicated over the interwebs, a few times, and I'm excited to finally be like in a space where we can talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, like for real, for real. Like it's been years. I mean, I think the time that I reached out to you was initially reached out to you was back in 2020, like before the pandemic, or yeah, around that time. Man.
Yeah, it was around the time of Drive was released. I think it was around that time the album. I think all that stuff came out, and I think that's when it was like, you know. So yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
hot minute though. And you've
Yeah.
stayed through the journey.
I know, right? Oh my God. Barely,
Oh my
barely.
gosh. Yeah,
It's just like
listen,
barely hanging
listen.
on.
the facts of life. My God.
Um, and speaking of the facts of life, the first thing that I wanted to get into is, I kind of wanted to create space around recognizing and talking about the things that we are dealing with, like politically in this country right
Mm,
now, and how exactly is that affecting you and how you're dealing with it. I just wanted
yeah.
to, recognize that because it's pretty huge, I feel. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've always been a very energetically sound, person when it comes to any type like, I don't watch the news. I'm informed politically because I really don't have that much of a choice. So I make sure I'm aware of what's going on. Like I'm very much so heavy in like financial markets and stock markets and finance. So finance, politics, economics, they're all very closely related. So
Mhm.
I'm always aware, but I try to maintain a type of energetic balance. Like, I listen to a lot of Alan Watts. I listen to a lot of
Mm.
philosophy. I listen to a lot of, Joe Esperanza. I hope I said that, Joe Dispenza? Maybe I think it's Joe Dispenza. But a lot of things of, like, you wake up and you say, "I'm having a great day today. It's a beautiful day.
Mm.
I'm so grateful for
Mhm.
my space, for my environment, for everything around me." And then I
Mhm.
try to move and flow in that direction because, like you said, I think a perfect example is when 2025 came out, January 1st, everyone's like, "Oh!" And then you had the fires, and then it's like the ricochet of that, plus in the previous year, obviously, with the elections, things politically going, it just everything can kind of ricochet and kind of tumble on itself, and I think you have to try at minimum to protect what you have control over and to protect that
Right.
energy and protect that space as much as you possibly can,
Yeah.
and, if it's possible, just bring some type of positivity or some type of light to someone else and try not to, stir things too negatively with already so much BS going on right now. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. No, you bring up a really solid point in regards to like understanding what you can control. But I also I just want to push back a little bit on that, like
Yeah.
because I just recently read this quote by Angela Davis, and it kind of like really stuck with me. It makes a lot of sense in a
Right.
way that I feel like, yeah, I can't accept this anymore.
Right.
And the quote is, "I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept." And that really resonated with me in terms of like what we're experiencing right now. And I understand that, you don't have control over other people and how they're going to respond to things, but and I totally hear you on that. That's a whole other different aspect of it. But I feel like for some of us, we forget that or we are in a place where it's kind of like we're not suffering these circumstances, so therefore we're just gonna forget about it and not worry about it. When in fact it can very much lead to you being in that situation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I definitely think the world you can't be blind to everything. Like, I have a
right.
friend right now whose entire family is in Palestine, and
Wow.
when we talk though, it's very interesting because she's experiencing something that no one is directly experiencing, like, directly, but it's very
Mhm.
interesting though because it's a direct correlation to her, but that doesn't mean humanity can't go away either, and I
Mhm.
think it's very interesting, you can't ignore anything that's going on. That's not
Right.
really possible, to be honest with you. It's
Right.
kind of taking a look at, are you going to make them take away any type of light that you have? You don't have to shine differently because there's something politically going on. And I think
Yeah.
biggest thing for me is always making sure that I'm not changing for you. Like,
Right. Right.
I'm gonna be exactly the same. So, my thing is I'm not gonna let you take away any type of energy that I have or any type of energy and balance, and I think being able to be authentically yourself through that you're gonna be able to change, a lot of different views and a lot of different, ways that people that the way that people might think or might operate, like, I think that happens a lot more often than not.
Yeah, and I totally love what you said about how not letting this change you and, like, your essence, your softness, your beauty, I love that, and it kinda reminds me, and I know I keep bringing up I'm bringing up all these other people and these quotes and
No, I
whatnot,
love it, I love it, I love quotes.
but there's this line in Bob Marley's song, "Could You Be Loved?" He basically said, "Don't let them fool ya or even try to school ya.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We've got a mind of our own."
Right,
And that just resonates with me with what you were saying. That's just beautiful. I love that. So based on all of that, like I've been asking everyone I know and people in my life and then also strangers who are just really concerned about what is happening right now.
right.
I've been asking everyone like how do you plan to practice hope and to experience joy in the next 4 years and maybe even beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I truly believe this. I think joy is something that you create, and I truly do think that there's all these things going on, you can't take away from that, but I think you are able, though, to also give people power if you allow them to dim that. So, I don't think so personally, the way that I see things is I don't plan on changing anything or not experiencing the ability to go camping or to go to random places or to be able to experience as much as I possibly can because of anything politically. Like, as far as different situations, like, it's obviously not the elephant in the room, like, the way you look, you do have to think about things a little bit differently depending on where you go. You do have that thought in the back of your mind, with certain places, like, I was always terrified of, like, the South. It was a fear of mine, like, from the jump, and my family's all Southern, but it was always just like, I do not wanna go there. Like, at all. It's just certain things like that, but I think the more that I've just developed and the more that I've grown, the more that I've experienced adversity in general, and the more that I've experienced other people, um, I truly do think that I have the ability to create my own reality in that way. Like,
Mhm.
there's no one that I'm gonna allow you to have that much power over me in my life.
Mm,
It's
right.
just not gonna happen. So, it's
Yeah.
just like, that's the way that I think, and I think that's the way that I also have to think because I think
Mhm.
that's how people win as well, is I think that you start to change, you start to give them what, people are wanting or give them reactions that people are wanting and different types of things like that. So, that's kind of just how I plan to move forward is just as long as you can be as authentic and honest with yourself as you can,
Mhm.
then go on, go on with your life, go on about your life. And if they have a problem, it's affecting them, it's not affecting you. Because I've noticed that a lot of times, if you have the problem, you still have the problem. I don't have a problem with you. So I'm not getting hurt. You're getting all flustered. Listen, I am cool as a cucumber. You cannot really shake me or rock me in any type of situation or way. But, like, if there's an issue, most likely it's not on my end. Like, I don't have a problem with you or any other, person. Like, I just don't
Right.
operate like that?
Do you I feel like I feel like the first thing when you said all of that, I was just like, are they, do they practice Buddhism? Do you practice that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I am very spiritual in nature. My grandmother is extremely spiritual in nature as well. We've just always been very highly meditative, highly energetic in regards to how we perceive the world and how it perceives us.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I try to control, yes, what I can control, but also I just listen to a lot of things of like creating your reality, everything that you speak. Absolutely. It's quantum physics. Everything you speak refers back to
Mhm.
you. And there's just a lot of
Mhm.
different things that I make sure to try to practice because it has not always been like that. Where in
Yeah.
general, like can just be, I don't even know, just this reckless left person all the way. Like I'm really trying to, encompass and kind of stay steady.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. But anyway, let's get to
Hmm.
the music.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm with
let's
it.
let's get to the music.
I'm with it.
So, I wanted to learn a little bit more about your history. So what really inspired you to first start making music?
Well, I was in band and well, throughout my entire life. So I played like the clarinet and I did that throughout my entire life. And then um but basketball was like everything. Like basketball was my
Mm.
entire life. So in high
Mhm.
school, same thing. I was in band, but it was basketball and I was being really heavily recruited. So I'm from
Oh,
California. I
wow.
eventually moved here to Arizona.
Okay.
And I was heavily recruited and then I got injured my junior year in high school
Mhm.
and I was terrified. I was like, I thought like that was it. Schools were dropping me left and right. I was like, well, I really don't know what I'm going to do. And my grandfather actually did give me a guitar. He bought me a guitar. And so I just started playing that. Not like just I picked it up and like the heavens just gifted me. I was absolutely awful. I didn't even know what was going on. And I just started playing it though and learning it because I have like a very obsessive personality type. So like
Mhm.
I'll obsess over something for like a really long time and then I'll probably just like let it go. But that kinda stuck with me, so, I started playing guitar, and that's really where the songwriting came into play, because I was obsessed with, like, the blues at first and really, like, electric guitar and Joe Bonamassa and people that, like, really did solo guitar and virtuoso guitar, but then I started writing, and I think that was kind of
Mm.
where, it began, and,
Mhm.
ironically, I did actually end up, going to college and playing college ball, so that did actually end up happening.
Wow.
Um, yeah, but then I still kept it. It just never went away. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
very, like, if it comes, it comes, if it goes, it goes. Like, my attention span is hyper focused and then it goes away. And then that's just really
Mm.
where we are. But it never went away. So I started doing that, played college, and then from there started like DJing and making beats. It kind of just had an evolution of creating full songs is kind of how it started happening.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you went to school for basketball. Did you
Mhm.
what did you study? Did you study music
I
while
studied
also?
English. That's what's
Oh,
I was
wow.
studying English. I was an English major, literature concentration,
Well, that makes
and
sense.
I
Go
think
ahead.
that's also where my obsession happened with, um, like, certain frames of thought as well, now that I think about it. I was
Mhm.
obsessed with the transcendentalist period, which
Mm.
was just obsessed it was just nature. It's you're
Yeah.
around nature, and nature at the end of the day is something that you can always, resource and kind of come back to. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that's where my obsession started. So the reason why I bring this up is because when I first started playing, all my songs were like super like acoustic. Like I listened to, a lot of people, a lot of singer songwriters. Like it's just
Mhm.
you and the guitar with a beanie with, like, a little we're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
child." Like, we're just in the trees, like, I was super hippie, like, it was not even and I was just in the guitar, like, it was just I don't even know what was going on. But, like, I I don't know, I gotta be honest with you, I don't really know where the transition happened. I think when I started
Mhm.
producing and I started, with a drum kit, I think that's when it started kind of shifting over a little bit to click into a style. Yeah, because I didn't have a style
Yeah.
yet. I didn't have a sound yet, but I think that's when it started to kinda transition over.
Okay. Wow. And
Yeah.
also, I wanna say it makes sense. The reason that I said that it makes sense that you study, literature and English, because I found most of your lyrics to be very, very poetic. And like, it's just kind of
Yeah.
like it can easily go into that area. Um, and I want to say it's just kind of like it lives it lives in in the way of like a song is a poem and a poem is a song kind
Mhm.
of way. That's
Yeah,
the vibe that I
that means a
got.
lot to me. That means a lot to me because it's crazy. Because I did do poems, I did do poetry. There was a lot of that. I have so many notebooks in this house, so many
Mhm.
notebooks. I don't even know where they are, what they're doing. But to that point, like, I find it very interesting from when I create a song from guitar versus when I create a song from, like, a MIDI instrument or a keyboard. They're very
Mhm.
different, drastically
Mhm.
different, and I find that being interesting. I find there's more of a true essence with guitar, personally.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
it's just because it's coming from such a naked place already, and
Right.
I think that might be the reason why, but I think the essence of the songs are very different.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
amazing. So do you remember the first song that you ever wrote?
Oh my goodness. I think, uh, my god. You know, the first. No, 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 no. I think, oh my goodness. I feel like I low key do. Okay. The first song I wrote and the first decent song I wrote are 2 different things. Because I think I actually
Mm.
have a lot of early recordings of, like, of songs where I'm, like, speed talking. I think I was obsessed with Jason Mraz and Ed Sheeran at the time. I have a feeling I was obsessed with the singer-songwriter thing. I don't know. I just thought, like, I don't know. So I'm, like, doing all this. I watched August Rush as a kid, and I'm playing, like, I can't even explain it. There were so many things happening at one time, um, but there was a lot of songs, is all I gotta say. There was a lot of them. But I know the original I think the original melody, if you can hear this, the original melody, I think, to the first song I really wrote was, yeah, I think, yeah. I think that was the first, like, E melody, and I was like, "That's really pretty." And I said, "Okay, that's something I can, like, rock with." And that's when because I only did the fingerstyle guitar anyway. So I was like, "Alright, I can rock with that."
That's that's so
And then I was
beautiful.
like,
I
"Oh, that sounds
actually
like California King Bed. That sounds like Rihanna." I said, "I could do a
actually
cover." Just playing.
Um, actually, you know what? When you played that, and I honestly wanted you to play some more, but I won't, that's for another time. The first thing that came to my mind was Tracy Chapman, honestly.
Yo, stop it.
And I don't
Tracy
know.
Chapman, the real one.
Yeah, like seriously, like
I love Tracy Chapman.
that was the first thought that I had when you started playing that.
'Cause that's funny. That's funny because it's so weird. There's, like, these weird times, like, I'm so serious about it. There's these weird obsession periods that I had with people.
Mhm.
Like, you'll hear certain, like, stylistic things that'll come from that. I went to Afropunk.
Mhm.
The very first Afropunk
Mhm.
that happened in
Wow.
Brooklyn,
Yes.
and when it was like, oh, man, I don't even know if we paid.
Yes, I can believe you.
The girl I was dating
I
at the time,
totally
I don't
believe
even
you.
think we paid. I think it was
Yeah.
free because I went to school in Connecticut,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh," and we went, and I got to see Michelle.
Mhm.
Or was it
Yes.
Michelle? I always mess up her last name.
Mm,
Michelangelo?
mm. And
Ogdenangelo?
Dicacello.
And Dignicello.
Yeah.
Her. I saw, oh, what's her name? I saw The Internet was there,
Yes.
and I saw Sid
Yes.
walking, and I think
Oh my god.
this was, like, before so many things. It was before
Right.
so many things, though,
Right, right,
where
right,
it's like
right.
you seeing these people and you kinda know who they are. Like, you know enough, but you don't know like, "Huh."
Yeah.
But it's before she was, like, Sid. It was, like, when she was with The Internet, which means I think I'm pretty sure I saw, Kevin Lacey. I'm pretty positive. Like, it's just so crazy, and that's crazy that you said that because during that time it was such a beauty because what I love about Michelle, I'm not even joking, is that was the first song, "You Made a Fool of Me," I think was the song I first
Oh my
heard.
god.
When you talk about poetry
Yes.
on a guitar
Mhm.
and how that I said, "Oh," and her voice is deep, and my
Right,
voice is deep,
right,
and so, you know, that's something I was just, like, obsessed with. I was actually obsessed with that. I think then I started getting into that style, now I
right.
think about it, and so
Yeah,
it kind of just there's a transition of, "I like that.
right.
Let's do that." Like,
Yeah.
let's kinda go into this, this
This realm.
poetry type of
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, wow.
'cause it's yeah, and then I listened to everything, listened to everything.
You mentioned that your dad gave you a guitar, so was that your second instrument?
So my grandfather gave me my guitar.
Your
No,
grandfather,
not at
I'm
all.
sorry, yes.
No, 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 you're fine. My grandfather gave me my guitar. My first instrument was my clarinet because I was in band, and then I picked up the guitar. The singing
Mhm,
kind of happened in college. Kinda happened. I had stage fright like no other. I froze
mhm,
like you would never I froze so badly, and it was my very first, like, live, like, performance, and I completely froze. My entire team was there,
mhm,
and eventually I got through it just by looking down
mhm.
and just doing something,
Right.
um, terrified. But I did actually take singing lessons at some point. I was able to take some music minor courses, but because it was, just it was a small private school, because of that, though, there were just not enough people that took music. Like, it was a business school.
Mm.
So, I think the music minor itself got cut.
Oh,
So, I
wow.
was a music minor, but it got cut, like, probably my sophomore year. So, I did take some music theory, I took enough to run with it a little bit,
Mhm,
but no, they cut it, and then I eventually started singing when I graduated college, because I did a lot of, like, beat battles and I did a lot of beat shows. I started just doing a lot of beat stuff.
mhm,
And I feel like producers weren't taking me serious enough to kinda give me a shot in that way,
mm.
so I just started singing on my stuff
Ah.
and kind of just started doing that and hoping that it worked out like, hoping that I got enough ears on me that people would wanna start working with me, like, as an artist, and that's kind of how that progressed. Because I was like a wedding DJ, I was like that person. Like, "What are you doing today?" "Oh, I'm taking photos at Target Portraits." Like, I was a
Yeah.
gig like,
Wow.
a gig person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you have any family members who are musicians? Musicians and artists as well?
Yes. I think my dad played the bass, but one of my uncles on my dad's side does have a music school.
Oh,
Um, so I'm pretty sure that's going that yeah, he does have that, and then my grandmother's brother was a musician.
okay.
But it's very separated, like, there's nothing, like, immediately where I grew up around it or anything like that, nothing really with the arts,
Okay.
mainly business and tech and, like, tech type stuff, nothing artistically, I don't think.
Okay.
But my mom always put me into stuff like that, she always allowed me to be expressive in those ways.
Mhm,
Whatever I liked, she let me do.
mhm.
So, I was definitely able to get very, acclimated and very, I don't know, see everything.
What is your approach to and then also the process of your creating music? What is your approach and your process of creating music?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of changed over time, to be honest with you. It used to be very direct. It used to be, like I pour myself a little drinky drink and then I have my guitar, or maybe I start with the keys and things like that. But I think now, especially just depending on what the process needs to be, depending on what the project is for, depending, like, on what the goal is for the song. Like, is it for me or am I trying to get this really placed somewhere? Like, I
Mm,
think they're completely 2 different, strategies just because, like, if you're trying to get it placed somewhere, usually you're trying to at least, write within the elements that they're telling you to write within.
right.
Um, Whereas with my music, like, it's gonna be slow, it's gonna be 4.5 minutes long. Like, that's
Yes.
usually it's gonna be, like, 6-minute song with an interlude.
Oh my
Like,
god.
there's gonna be a rushing river in the background. Like, my songs are about to be
Oh my god.
long. They're about to be full-length movies.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
right? Like, those are gonna be my songs, probably with the guitar in it,
Yeah.
um, 45-minute intro. So, it's a very to me personally, there's a very distinct difference. I think over time, though, I will say that I do think, you know, having the goal to really be able to do this financially and trying to get things placed sometimes can convolute the artistry
Mm,
a little bit because I do have a distinct sound
mhm.
of what I personally would like when I pictured like that sound and that type of music and stuff. It's very distinct production wise. But I think if I'm speaking for myself, I think there is a little bit of a difference that it's mainly done on the guitar. It's very it's that's why I'm excited about all the music that I have because at this point I have so much music. It's just a matter of understanding what we're really doing. Um,
Ah,
but and then seeing how those coincide because it really does tell a story. Even with
yes.
the production and the full production music, with the guitar, with the sad songs, and with it kind of paints a full picture. So I'm excited and I'm curious to see how things kind of go together and
Ebb and flow.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really love your music, and I'm not just saying that. Like,
Yeah.
I love how you let the song breathe, you let the music breathe, you let the instruments breathe. And you're not and you're not afraid of, like, lingering in a mood. That's one of the things that I recognize, like, saying so that rushing river that you were talking about, I totally hear that. I hear it. Like, seriously. Um, and
'Cause
then
songs are like 2.5 minutes now, and I feel like sometimes
yeah.
you have to decide of whether or not, like, you're gonna just be like, I feel like
Mhm.
this intro is 45 seconds, or I
Right.
feel like this song is 4 minutes. Like, you have to make a decision, and I think you just have to go with it because songs are very short now.
Yeah,
Like, it's
they're
very rare that you're getting, I mean, the artists that I listen to, probably, but I think if you go into, like, the more of the pop world and stuff like that, like, they're very very precise. So,
mhm.
like, if you can let the river flow, let the river flow. Do you feel?
Yes, I
So
feel that. I feel that so much. And that's so true that everything is so like less than less than 3 minutes now. And I wonder if that's because of like
mhm,
people's attention span is like
100%.
so
A
just like
100%. A
oh
hundred
my
percent.
god.
Because 'Cause I've tried it too. Well,
Mhm.
the thing what's weird is I have a few I actually have a few songs that are now under 3 minutes or they're 2 minutes and 30 seconds,
Mhm.
but the intro's still a minute, and
Yeah.
you just get like, "What?"
Yes.
Like, there's gotta be some realm of, like it'll be short, but it's gonna leave you like, "Huh, I
Yeah.
feel like there should have been more to that." I'd be like,
Right.
"Probably,
Right.
probably."
And then the other thing too about your music as well as it being one that lingers in the mood itself and it's really moody and ambient, it's also very cinematic. Like seriously, I feel like, for the most part, you give enough space for the listener to dream essentially. And and I wanted to ask, like and I feel like this I probably can answer this myself, but I wanna hear from you. Um, is this, like, an intentional way of you approaching your music? It's just like, "Yes, I want them I
Absolutely.
want them to dream of this when they hear this particular melody. I want them to
Yes.
feel this or taste this," you know? So, yeah,
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
that for me, please.
Yeah. Let me put this in the energies right now.
Okay.
My goal one of my goals is to get a song on a trailer, whether I'm singing, making it, I don't care if it's collaborative, I don't care how it's done, to get a song on a trailer, in a movie,
Mhm.
like, a really good solid TV spot,
Mhm.
um, which has happened, but I think, like, I know, like, there could be there's always other opportunities and stuff like that. Yes, I make it cinematic specifically because I love using subs.
Mhm.
I love using deep undertones, very atmospheric, airy, omniscient sounds, things that are very ethereal
Mhm. Yes.
with these dark subs that just, like, the way that they kind of go together, I think, it is done very intentionally, very intentionally. Um, and I just feel like that with the voice, I never want the voice to stand out. I just want everything to melt. I want everything
Mm.
to constantly melt into each
Mm.
other. I don't really want anything to be necessarily too overexerted compared.
Mhm.
Like, I just want everything, harmonies, everything to kind of just, like,
Each other.
swim with each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's very, very important for me because one of my other goals really is to make, like, visuals to these, not like music videos. I mean visuals. I mean storylines, connected storylines
Wow.
to a project, kind of like a Beyonce Lemonade type thing,
Mhm.
where it's just everything is a storyline and it gives so much context,
Mhm.
but enough. It's more symbolic than necessarily telling you exactly what is happening.
Yeah.
So like, I have like all in my mind, I see it all.
Yeah.
It kind of piecing it together is a little bit fuzzy, a little bit difficult for me, I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes, but I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you do any videos for do you actually do the videos for any of your songs based on
No.
that?
I want to so badly. I think I bought a camera twice, and I returned it twice. Like,
Why?
I
Why
bought it.
did
I'm
you
pretty sure I
return
bought a
it?
bro, so I have a love-hate relationship with film. I love film,
Okay.
and I love television a lot. I watch a lot of TV,
Mhm.
watch a lot of film. I love I love storytelling. I think
Mhm.
storytelling is just the most beautiful art. But man, like, I remember, like, shooting some stuff, like, I think nicotine, I think that's the only thing I did. I returned that camera, bro. I returned it because I not because it's a learning curve. It's one of those things where, like, I could talk to my friends and they don't have patience for audio. I don't have patience for video.
Yep.
Looking at that little timeline,
Mhm.
and I'm, like, looking at it, and I'm trying to edit, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "This is a lot." I'm tired, my eyes hurt, I'm irritated because I don't really understand the form yet.
Right.
But to your point, though, I think I do want to slow down a minute,
Mhm.
take some time,
Mhm.
learn, learn, mess up, fail, have it look bad, and really go through that process of creating. Because I think that's actually, that's very important. The videos that I'm talking about, like, I'm definitely probably um hiring my cinematographer and director friends
Mhm.
because I need this. I know exactly what we're trying to do here.
Mhm.
Um, but for me, I do want to start doing that. I actually did want to do like a separate channel
Mhm.
of like films, like little short films, like short microfilms, 2 to 5 minutes, like little microfilms, and then I'll score them in the back.
Yeah.
Like I've always that's one of my things too.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it's a goal. It's it's a
Hey.
goal. It's there.
Hey, I
It's a goal.
I hear you, and I can't wait for that to happen. I'm gonna be there.
Oh
I'm gonna
man.
be the first one there to look at it and say, "Yes, yes." I remember this conversation we had, and I've been waiting for this to happen, to come into fruition, and it is here now.
No. I feel like I've tried so many times too. Like, there's copying cigarettes. I feel like we
Mhm.
were trying to get something together to do a whole I wrote a screenplay.
What?
Not screenplay, but, like, I wrote, like, yeah, it's technically a screenplay, like, I
Oh
wrote a
my
script
god.
and everything for it, and that just it didn't end up happening, but
Mm.
there's so many things that it's like, man, like, we have the options, to really do that. I think that's why I fell in love with Her. The song Her, the animated visual to that. I think I fell in love with that because I hired an animator, amazing animator, and I was just like, Holly Warburton, I'm pretty sure she's in the UK. I said, "Do what you do. Just do what you do." And, that's still one of the most beautiful pieces of, like, because it was all hand drawn,
Yeah.
and it was just absolutely stunning, and I think,
Yeah.
certain things like that, um, storytelling, however it could be told correctly, I think is really important to me. I think that's why I really don't put out visuals like that unless, like, I know it's gonna really tell a story. I'll usually just do, like, a lyric thing, or I'll do stock footage, and I'll put together a story for that, but other than that, like, I haven't made a video in like, a while,
Mm,
like, a long time.
okay.
So, it's
So
coming,
it's
though.
coming. Okay.
It should be coming.
It's
It
gonna
should be.
happen. All right. So you recently dropped the EP Gravity and the single
Mhm.
Forever. I first want to start with Forever, which dropped on Valentine's Day,
I did put
and
that out of Valentine's Day.
and it's called Forever. And then there's the lyric, if you called me by your last name. So, of course, I assume this is a love song, right?
Yeah.
And and what were you sort of envisioning for this particular song? Like what
This song was so interesting. The one I put on actual streaming platforms, I shortened.
Mhm.
It's a 4
Yeah,
it's
I noticed that.
it's a 4.5-minute song.
Right. Like when I was
It's a 4
yeah. So yeah, like when I did my research, I went and looked for it. I realized that there's more to it and I was just like, what
Yeah,
is
it
going
it cut
on?
it. I cut it, yeah. So the original visual was done by Holly, that's funny,
Mhm.
where she did the lyric video to it and stuff. The original version was 4 minutes.
Mhm.
So I found, like, this sound, and I think I warped it, tuned it down, looped it, put a lot of reverb and delay over it, and when I heard it, I was just so enthralled by how it sounded, and I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Mm.
And it just sounded like there's an there's an infinity, and it just
Yeah.
nothing is ending.
Yeah.
It's just like a loop. It just
Right.
sounds like a constant loop anyway.
Right.
So I think what I was thinking was with Forever was just a very permanent space, Um, and you hold a place for that. And, it's already been too long, you've already been too far away.
Mhm.
I don't wanna dip too far in my dreams.
Mhm.
It's it it's weird. This might sound weird. I had a dream that I was with someone, and it was through multiple times.
Mm.
It was the craziest thing. It was the weirdest.
So
It
you
was like I
met
fell in love in my dream.
Mhm.
Craziest thing.
Mhm.
Well, no, I was in a relationship when I wrote this song.
Okay.
But, well, I was in a relationship, but I didn't finish the song until I had that dream, and I thought that was wild.
Yeah. So basically in the
So the
in the dream you met this person in multiple different
and it was a loop. Yeah.
different like life wow,
It was insane
that
because
is
I do sometimes I lucid dream from time to time. So sometimes there is a consciousness while I'm in the dream, and sometimes the dreams get so vivid, it's, like, wild. So I'm like, "Man, could you imagine that time is completely infinite and you're just in a loop?" And it's, um, that's why I made that song like that, and that's why the words are never directly related
yeah.
to any one person or any one thing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's
Mhm.
beautiful. It's really beautiful. And once again,
Thank you.
I felt like, the lines themselves were very poetic. And they were also like questioning at the same time, even though there was no question mark at the end. It was just more like And, you know, it really made me think about that, really think about
That's
that.
crazy you said that. So, I got an opinion of that's really sad. I said, "Interesting." I got another opinion that was like, "No, that's really sad." And I always wonder, what I love about art is it's so subjective. I always am curious of you know, how people are really reciprocating. Because I try to make my music extremely, extremely ambiguous. It's kind of ironic. I was, um like, I personally go by she, her. I know there's a lot of people that, um, also go by she, her that I talk to as well. Like, we have that, but I've noticed in my music, I never, ever specify gender. I don't think and it's ironic, though, I don't think I ever have. And I think I've just always wanted to make everything so all-inclusive because I
Mhm.
think I've done that, but I've done that I just remember, like, In My Feelings back in, like, 2015,
Mhm.
all that entire EP has always been like, there's just never been it's been like, ambiguous the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, I've just always been like that. So I've noticed that to your point,
Yeah.
I'm never direct. Everything is constantly ambiguous.
Right.
You like, sometimes you leave the song thinking, like, "What just happened?
Right.
Like, what exactly am I supposed to be?" I think Crazy Love is the only song that's been very, like well, and Drive, I think. But
Mm.
even then, there's never an indication of anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think so. I
I
agree.
don't think there has either. I
Yeah.
think even Her
Yeah. Even though it's
doesn't have her in it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just yeah.
That's interesting. I never even thought about that, but I never say there's never anything direct.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm,
So Gravity. Um,
yeah.
you basically on Gravity, it seems to be somewhat in the same theme as Forever, I think. I feel like most of all of the songs on Gravity, the EP, is love songs or love loss. Like for instance, Hands. Hands is just like, oh my God, you know, like right? You know, that playfulness and the and how like how significant hands are in especially in the you know the beginning part of a relationship, the hand motions, the language that you get from the hands, like what the
The
hands
little
are
touches, the
yeah,
little
what they're
yeah.
saying is just like, wow, and I
Mhm.
felt like you like I felt so good listening to that, and I was like, yeah, this is
I love that song.
yeah,
Let me tell you something though. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
mhm,
That song took me
really,
forever.
really,
Because the sounds
mhm,
and everything, like, the amount of vocal manipulation like, because I didn't know I knew what I wanted it to sound like, but I didn't know how to do it.
mhm,
Like, I was like, "I know exactly what I'm listening for, but I don't know how to do it." Like, it's so but I knew because the whole song is about because 'cause we've all done it, right?
yes,
We've all done it. You've all messed up
right,
and done hooked up with a friend
yeah,
or slipped with a friend, and you're like, "Man, I hope nothing changes from this." Like, but I still am not regretting it.
right,
But I still don't regret that. I still don't regret anything that just happened here
mhm,
today.
yeah, 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 so I feel like Gravity too is another element of love, another expression, another story about love, and I was wondering, like, well, why was, Forever not included on the EP of, you know, the Gravity EP, since that is also about love? What was, like, the reasoning behind, like, separating the 2?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to have those songs in this EP released um through a label, through an actual, publishing company. So it's slightly different.
Mm,
So,
okay.
having that yeah, so that EP that project, the approval of that project and those songs, getting picked and that was all that was all a process itself. So that actually being released, completely different. That was released through them. It was a whole different um type of thing. And hopefully, we were able to get some I'm really hoping that we get some solid, stuff out of that where, you know, the show picks a few of those songs up and people really have the opportunity to kind of listen to it and get out there with it. Forever I released on my own.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Forever
Awesome.
I decided to release on my own because I did have it for a little bit and I was like, let me release this now
Yeah.
because I've been waiting for like a hot minute to release this song.
Yeah. How long have
You
you
know what I mean?
how long did it
Oh,
take you to create both things, like Forever and then also Gravity itself?
it's so weird because I make songs pretty often. So you'll have songs that I've made maybe like a few months ago or a couple weeks ago to songs that I might have made a year or 2 years ago, and that the project makes sense with these specific songs together. That's usually how most things happen.
Mhm.
So Gravity, for example, was maybe a year and a half ago.
Mm.
I might have made that. Hands, very similar. Take a Chance on Me was sooner.
Mm.
That was a sooner one.
Mhm.
Oh, Love Me was recent, very recent. And, that was, like, a couple of months ago. That was pretty recent. And then Nothing's Wrong was recent.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. It combined a lot of and I think that's what's so interesting with music is, you combined a lot of different energies and a lot of different frequencies from how you feel along the time period. I think that's why it's so fascinating. By the time artists release music, they're already in a whole different place,
Right.
and that's why that next music sounds so different is
Yes.
because we're not there anymore.
Right.
So I think it's interesting combining multiple different sounds, but those sounds sound very eclectic, but at home together. Um, so I did find that very interesting because my personal favorite song on there is Nothing's Wrong.
Mm. Why is that?
Personally, because it's so true. Like, I feel like so often it's like there's nothing really wrong, but I just don't feel good, and I just don't feel like nothing's really making me feel better either.
Yeah.
You're just, like, kind of apathetic and aloof,
Mm.
but you're not in a good space either. There's
Mhm.
just so many different contradicting energies,
Right.
and I think that's why when I made it with, like, a ethereal pop be like, a little bit more upper tempo of just, like, nothing's wrong. It's so interesting. Like, that could have easily been a sad song, but I think that's the irony. I think a lot of my sadder songs, um, maybe not a love song, but my sadder songs are a little bit more up tempo, I've noticed. Um, my happier songs or in love songs are a little bit slower.
Oh, wow. How would you say EP Gravity and the single Forever differs from, or maybe they're similar to your previous works?
I think there's a growth. I think there's a difference. I work with an engineer, amazing engineer. His name's Andre Nelson. Um, Fabulous engineer that on a lot of my previous stuff, we worked together a lot. And, further down the line, I just started to explore and experiment more.
Mm.
Um, besides the fact that, 2020 was a time I was like, "There's no way I'm about to be able to go to the engineer and stuff right now." I was like, "We gotta start making this,
Yeah.
like, 100%. Gonna have to start figuring out how to mix and master. We're gonna have to start figuring that stuff out."
Right.
And I think that's where the exploration, though, starts is because you are able to get up randomly, and you are able to, you know, come to the keyboard and come up with something, and then you are able to experiment and go days and days and days, because I will say what you're able to do is you're able to record something,
Mhm.
listen to it, and be like, "Well, that didn't work out," and
Yeah.
then you rewrite,
Right.
and there's a lot of rewriting, and there's a lot of doubling, and there's a lot of things that you can do with unlimited time,
Mhm.
um, and you could do that for days and weeks, and you can come back to it, so there's a little bit more freedom there, and I think the difference is just there's an evolution thing. Because I will say it's kind of coming full circle in a way
Mhm.
because my very, very, very first EP, my In My Feelings EP was all recorded by me as well.
Yeah.
So you listen to the 2 projects
Right.
and there's clearly growth there. And I think that's what's exciting about it is, like, the more that I develop, the more that I listen, the more that I'm able to build up, the studio that I have, and I really just start to grow as an artist and things like that. Um, the sound just changes. The sound just ends up kind of being it flourishing in its own right,
Right.
and you start to really develop your own sound. I think that's what's so exciting is you really start to explore yourself,
Right.
and there's a freedom with that.
Yeah.
So which feels amazing.
Yeah. So that said, like how do you express your identity through your music?
It's ironic. With my first In My Feelings EP, I never wanted my identity shown, actually. I wanted to be like a weekend thing, Sia, her. I never wanted to actually show my identity ever. I think I just wanted the music to be that. And
Mhm.
I always wanted that type of vibe and thing. That didn't happen. I don't know what happened, but your girl was shown. I was out here in the streets. I don't know exactly know what happened. I don't even know what happened. But either way, that didn't happen. But branding wise, there's always been like a mystique. Like I'm not that open.
Mhm.
I'm very close to the chest.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know if I'm a boy or a girl. I was always androgynous. Always been androgynous. I love that. That's probably my favorite part. Like to be honest with you, is just the androgyny part. What I will say though, identity wise, that gets very frustrating is you get put in a box very quickly. Like looking at me, people always think I'm a rapper. Always. Like if I say I do music, people, oh man, people always think I'm a rapper. Or with some of my songs, no matter what song I put out, I could put out a folk album
Mhm.
and they'll call it R&B.
Yeah.
So I think what's frustrating, probably more than anything, actually routing back to what you were saying at first, what's frustrating is musically you get put into such a box race wise and look wise of what it's gonna be. It doesn't matter what you put out, you're going to be in the R&B category.
Mhm.
You're going to be in the neo R&B category. You're gonna be in that category though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's frustrating in the way where I think my music but frustrating, but also on the other side, the way that I look for the music that I'm putting out, I think could really genre bend a little bit,
Yes.
especially for the stuff that I have,
Yeah.
especially for the stuff that I have
Right.
that's gonna come out.
Mhm.
It can genre bend because
Yeah.
I think it can
I
really
think you're
take a
already
look at
doing that.
yeah, yeah, and I think I need to give a little bit more credit, I guess, it's just I think it takes longer because of societal norms for certain music and certain things where it takes longer, in the package that it comes in. Um, because, you have artists like Sid doing it,
Yeah.
um, kinda Kalela, in a way. Yeah, Kalela. What am I saying? Kalela. Like, you have a lot of Black futurism type artists that are out there that are, bringing a different vibe to what it means to be a certain genre, and I think that's really, 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 really cool, and I think that's what I'm wanting to do with the sounds and because I'm always curious if someone listened to my music and then, like, what do you think this person looks like? I've always been curious about
Ah,
that.
that's a really
Just
good
to, like,
question.
just get a control group and be like, "So what do
Yeah.
you think this person looks like?
Right.
What gender do you think they are?
Yeah.
Where do you fit?" I've always wanted to do that because it is kind of, because when I tell people I do music and they listen to it, I swear, there's, like, a slight reaction, you have to catch it quick
Yeah.
because it's their actual real reaction, and they're like, "Huh." So I love it. I personally love that,
Right.
but
Right. It's really interesting. No, but you bring up a solid point around that. We have these stereotypes of like these biases, honestly, built-in biases around who does what. And
Yes.
then when someone does something outside of that, it's so hard for us to imagine them outside of that.
To imagine that that's I get
Yeah.
called a hip hop artist often. And the
Mhm.
thing is, I think the only thing that bothers me is, like, when certain people, like, approach me
Mhm.
about certain things, is like, "Did you listen to anything, though?" Because I feel like you're just approaching me, but I can already tell. I said,
Right.
you
Yeah.
didn't even look at one highlight reel. You
Yeah.
didn't look at one, Instagram post."
Right.
So it's like, I think it's just the assumption is so it's always that, and I feel like with my music, even if it takes longer, whatever the case may be, I think genre-wise, it doesn't need to, you know my manager said something interesting. He said, "A new style of emo R&B." I'm not gonna lie, I like that a lot. I was like, "I might coin that." Emo R&B or I was like, "I kinda like that." I don't know, I actually do. 'Cause, if I'm gonna be R&B, we're gonna remix it then. If I'm gonna be R&B, I'm not gonna be an alt R&B. We're gonna find, like, atmospheric R&B. We're gonna find it. But
Right. So that said, how would
Mhm.
you say your sound differs from other genre bending related artists?
Yeah, I think the beauty with being able to kind of create your music and see the process through and through
Mhm.
is that you're able to put you in it a lot more.
Mm.
So, like, you're not so you're singing in it and you're producing, like, the music and you're listening to different things, but I think it's, like, creating sounds that you hear in your head and you just can't find. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
like, I can hear it, but, like, it's just not clicking right now. We're just gonna
Right.
make those vocals instead. Yeah, and we're just gonna make those. So I think it's just the process of doing that, but also you do have a style. I think that's what's really cool is when you really start making music and you start going through the process, you have a style. Like, you eventually develop something that is like, you take from all these artists, you take, "I love this, I love this, I love this, I love this." Like, you're listening to different artists, and with that, there's a book called Steal Like an Artist. You cultivate yourself, and through time, that's how that ends up happening. That's where the quote unquote kind of originality thing comes into play. Is like there's so many things and different things that you listen to, and that's why everyone has some type of inspiration, or everyone's listening or watching something. Subconsciously, it's always there, and I think and then all of a sudden, through time, you eventually come up with your own kind of your own thing where people listen to it and says, "That's weird." And you're like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, I love, like, James Blake is another one, Bon Iver, absolutely. People that are constantly just you don't know what is gonna happen, like, where are you right now with with what you're saying, Kanye,
Yeah.
like, just listening to the producers and things like that.
Well, speaking of your influences, I'm kind of curious about which artists you get compared to the most and whether you appreciate those comparisons. And then also, is there anyone who influences you that you think people would find surprising?
Well, you know what's weird? I'm extremely experimental,
Mhm.
and I feel like I get compared depending on the song. Like, I think not depending on the song, but, like, when they listen to maybe a collective of music, I've definitely gotten Billie Eilish,
Mm.
but I've gotten that too with the music that's not even out yet. I think I've gotten it more maybe with that, but I
Mhm.
can't necessarily say that.
Mm.
Um, and then I've gotten some weird ones, though. I've gotten FK Twigs before a few times, which
Nah, I don't really believe that.
I don't see it at all. I
Yeah.
love FK Twigs,
Yeah, I totally
and
yeah.
I was like, "I don't see it, though."
Yeah.
Her her, I've
Mm.
heard her.
Mhm.
The Weekend, actually, The Weekend, early Weekend. I
Okay. Maybe. I don't know.
They always I feel like that's a classification. They say
Yeah.
early weekend. Yeah. I've gotten those,
Mm.
and that's kinda the only ones that I've gotten consistently, where I'm like, "Okay." Because it's again, it's like listening to something like Nothing's Wrong, like that song,
Mhm.
and then listening to Take a Chance on Me, which
Yeah.
100% is an R&B track, 100%,
Right.
right? And then you listen to something like Love Me, which is just like a I don't know what's happening there, and then Gravity, which is a more early weekend song.
Yeah.
So it's very there's just a very eclectic thing there
Right.
it's again, it's one of those things where I get curious about that too. It's like, if I was gonna be played after any artist, what were the best artists to be played after?
Mhm.
I'd probably say Banks.
Mm. Okay.
Banks. I think I'm closest to Banks. I think if I had any relation, Banks. Trust me, listen to her, you will not regret it.
Okay.
I remember listening to her in college and was stuck. I was enthralled. Um, but yeah, I'd probably say Banks. Um, yeah, you bring up very good points because I'm very curious to see with the project and everything because this is kind of the direction we're going. I'm curious to see how this is gonna be taken.
Yeah. Just to switch things up a little bit, um, which do you prefer, studio work or performing live?
Studio work any day of the
Really?
week.
Why?
Any
Why?
day of the week.
What
Yeah.
what
I
I wanna know
I'm a
why.
recluse, man. I am a recluse. I like to be listen, I am a hermit. I don't know. I used to not be so much as one. I don't think. Well, that's not necessarily true. I think I was just more social. But no, I like being here, have my multiple screens up, and I like just doing this, and bob
Right.
my head a little bit, and I could do that for hours. No, I'd rather do any type of producing. Any day of the week, hands down. I think because performing live could be stressful because it's the live looping. It's just me with my live looping station praying to God that my 8-year-old computer can keep it together.
Right.
So it can get like it can get stressful. I think that's the only reason why though. I gotta be honest with you. I think if I had like a live band or I had like oh, I forgot. Side note,
Yes.
Labyrinth.
Ah,
I love Labyrinth.
yes.
He's everything. He's like my
Yes.
idol. So I think that's another thing though. Just putting that out there. I don't know
Yes.
why,
No,
but I
no, no,
just
I
wanted to put
love
that out
it, I
there.
love it.
Labyrinth. But yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the only reason why. Because acoustic shows I could do. I love acoustic shows. Just me and my
Mhm,
guitar,
mhm.
stress free.
Yeah.
Worst case is I forget my lyrics. I'll just say something else.
Right.
So yeah, I've done that before. But I think I think it's just the stress of like a full production setup and praying that it's like everything is working. But if I
Yeah.
had like a band, like a full band in the back with my live setup, like lights everywhere, I'd be like, oh, that would be with the
Fire.
subs and like a oh man.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, no,
yeah, I'd be cool with that.
I hear you, I hear
I'd
you.
be
I
cool
hear
with
you
that.
about the anxiety around making sure everything is okay and working and,
Ma- Making sure nothing just falls flat.
right, exactly.
Like,
Um, so so we're kinda getting close to the end, but I wanted to ask a few more questions.
mm,
So are there any artists you would like to shout out or recommend?
Banks. Listen to Banks.
Yes.
Justin Azuka.
Mm,
That's another one. Um, listen to them. And who am I listening to right now? Trevor Hall is another one.
mm.
He's very spiritual, very spiritual. Like, I, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. I'm out here. Um, I think that's kind of Montel Fish,
Montel Fish, okay, I'll look it up.
Montel Fish.
I'll look them up. Yeah,
You would love Montel Fish. Actually,
okay.
that's a fact.
Alright.
When we're talking about swimming
Yes.
and we're talking about where are we
Yes.
and Novo Omar, yeah, them too. There's just a few. Just a few on my little list. You gonna be asleep, but we gonna be there.
Right.
I feel like I don't listen to a lot of, like I listen to a lot of, like, we're all coasting.
Right.
We're all kinda, like, psychedelic.
Yes. Well,
That's where
hey.
I'm at. Yeah.
Hey.
I feel like that's where I
Hey,
stay.
maybe it could be psychedelic R&B.
St Bro, I'm telling you, the fact that you can put this is my issue.
Mhm.
The fact that you can put this many words in front of R&B means we need to stop.
Right.
That means we need to
Right.
stop trying to force this genre down everybody's throat and just say, maybe it's slightly different. 'Cause you're right, like, we got psychedelic R&B, we got alternative R&B, emo R&B,
Yes.
atmospheric R&B,
Yes.
electronic R&B.
Right.
That's a real one.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Damn."
Wow. All right. So, and then I wanted to know, like, and this is kind of off topic, but
Yeah.
are you reading any books right now, currently, that is like exploding in your mind?
That's wild. Kinda. So, yes, I have books okay, I just ordered a lot of them.
Okay.
I just ordered, um, The Way of the Zen, I think, by Alan Watts.
Mm.
I think I just or listen, trust me when I say, if you type in Alan Watts and then
Mhm.
just click on a random 5-minute video, listen to him.
Okay.
But The Way of the Zen, he's a very Eastern world, philosopher from, like, the 1960s, 70s, that he brought Eastern thought to the Western world.
Mhm.
And then Think and Grow Rich, The Psychology of Money,
Mm.
and, yeah, I think I'm just reading those 3 books right now. I haven't read it like a solid fiction book in a while.
Mhm. Which is totally fine.
Death in Province well, no. Watching You was the last one I read, which was amazing. I'm huge into, like, suburban thrillers. I
Okay.
know it sounds crazy, but, like this sounds crazy, but, like, Desperate Housewives
Mhm.
or, like, Devious Maids.
God.
Like, I'm
Oh my
watching,
god.
Beyond the Gate soap opera right now.
Yeah.
I'm tuned
And
in.
oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like that. Listen, I am like that. I am that
Oh my
person.
god. Oh my god. Alright. Hey, whatever floats your boat, do it. No
Don't
judgment.
yak my yum.
No
Yeah,
judgment.
exactly.
None,
Oh my
none, none.
gosh.
So, yeah.
I can
Alright.
feel it.
So, just so, tell the folks
Mm.
where they can find you. Like, let them know where they can find you.
Listen, folks, you can find me in the interwebs. I am SEO eligible, so you can Google me. And it's TRUVONNE_. You can find me anywhere, anything is available.
Awesome to finally meet you. Oh my god, like, really,
Yes.
this was great.
Wow.
I
What a
I
great
had a
time.
great time. I learned so much. So this was
Yeah.
awesome. So thank you so much.
Yeah, this is amazing. I'm so glad to do something like this.
So that was Truvon. Isn't she just amazing? I had the dopest time talking with her. Definitely check out her music, available on all streaming platforms. So we're going to play one more song by Truvon from her EP Gravity, and it's called Hands. Listen up.
Think we might have slipped. Your hands are touching mine. Wanna feel your lips. Have we crossed the line? as you move your hips. Felt the way that your hands grab my fingertips.
Thanks for listening to When We See Each Other. I'm your host, Nikkiesha McLeod. This show is produced and edited by Jeremiah McVay. If you like what you hear in this show, please rate and review it in Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that allows that. And please follow us wherever you happen to listen to podcasts. Doing so helps us to expand our audience and is much appreciated. You can find more information about this show at stereoactivemedia.com/whenweseeeachother. And you can get in touch with us at stereoactivemedia@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok under the handle WWSEO Pod. Talk to you later.
This podcast is produced by Stereoactive Media.